up, y'all? It's another episode, Charged Up Pod Sports. It's episode 5. If y'all haven't done it already, continue to like this video. Continue to subscribe to this channel. Turn that bell on so you get the notifications when I post. If you ain't done it yet, go ahead and share this channel with somebody. Tell a friend and tell a friend. If you ain't done it already, go ahead and comment with me. I'm going to interact with you guys. On this episode, we're going to get into the past week of the NFL season, which is week 6. There was some surprising games that happened. We're going to get into week 7 predictions. Tonight, I believe the Bucks play the Bills, Thursday Night Football. This episode will drop in the morning at 11 a.m., so the game will be over by the time this drops. We're going to get into the league leaders in the NFL this season. We're going to make our predictions, first predictions we made for the MVP this season. We're going to talk about it. I want to let a few weeks go by before we got into it so we can see how guys going to pan out. It's surprising. We're going to get into the top 5 AFC teams. We'll get into the top 5 NFC teams. I'm going to make that discussion on how teams are panning out. We're going to talk about some disappointments. We're going to talk about some teams that we not surprised that they're doing what they're doing. We're going to get into all that. We're going to talk about what we expected from teams, and we're going to get into that clearly. We're going to also get into the NBA side a little later. NBA season just started. It's opening week. 2 nights ago, LeBron and the Lakers played the Denver Nuggets on ring ceremony night, and then after that, the Warriors played the Suns. We're gonna get into that. Then last night was a full panel of games. Only 2 teams that haven't played so far is Milwaukee and Philly, and they played tonight, I believe. They play against each other, so that's gonna be good. But yeah, let's get into it. So what I want to discuss is the games that just happened in week 6. And in week 6, the games that happened were, we're going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Saints 31-24. That was kind of a surprising game to me because, one, Trevor Lawrence, is a little banged up, and I didn't know what to expect on that. I actually chose the Saints beating them in that game. David Carr, I don't know what it is with David Carr, man. David Carr, he has the look that he can give you some big wins, but them big wins don't really pan out that much. I don't know what it is. Alvin Kamara had a great game. He returned to his form of playing because he missed the first few weeks of the season. I believe this is his 2nd or 3rd game back. I did not expect the Saints to lose to the Jaguars. Panned out to be a good game. The Jaguars do have a tough schedule coming up. Especially when they got the Houston Texans behind them in their division, and Houston already done beat that ass. Yeah, I expected that game to go a little bit different. I did expect the Saints to beat them, but I believe the Saints will figure it out as the season goes along. I still believe that division, the NFC South, is still up for grabs for them. Next, we got Chicago Bears beating the Las Vegas Raiders. What's the guy named? Tyler Badgett. I think that's the backup quarterback with Justin Fields backup. He actually went out there and performed well. I believe it was like 21 for 29. He had didn't turn the ball over. He had some nice throws. The Bears beat them 30-12, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I actually chose the Raiders to beat the Bears bad. When I heard that Justin Fields is out, I was like, that's going to be an easy win for the Raiders, But the Raiders, they found a way to lose like they always do. The Raiders just need to go ahead and revamp the entire team. That team, I don't know. That team is not It's not attractive, you know. And it's crazy that, you know, not many people come play for Vegas. Like, it's Vegas, come on now. But the Raiders have been disappointing since they've been to Vegas. I think they need to drug test those guys like immediately. But yeah, I expected the Bears to lose to the Raiders big time, but they pulled it out and they got the Chargers next. Next we got the Cleveland Browns beating the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm a Gardner Minshew fan. Like I really like Gardner Minshew. He has, for him to be a smaller guy, he has a big arm. Like, he is not afraid. He will take the risks. He will go ahead and do what he got to do, and he will put some numbers up. Gardner Minshew is really impressive, especially, you know, as a backup. You don't expect many guys to do that, backing up. Gardner Minshew has been doing his thing. He has a reputation already, kind of like Fitzmagic, whatever, and he has that same type of aura with him. Like, he go come in, he go make some things happen. But Browns beat them 39-38. Beat them by 1 point. Cleveland Browns is showing that they are serious this year. They got some big wins under their belt, beating the Colts. They beat the 49ers. They beat a few teams that are pretty good teams. And I believe Cleveland Browns will continue to pick it up. And Cleveland Browns defense is actually dope. Like, I like the way their defense is set up with Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith and Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome. They're doing their thing over there in Cleveland. That defense is stingy, and they definitely do their thing. Well, they stingy, but they did just allow 38 points. But it's 38 points. Like, it's the Colts. But yeah, Gardner Minshew did his thing, but ended up with the L to Cleveland. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills losing to the New England Patriots. Funny, because Spank already, he predicted that. He said, yeah, the Patriots, we're going to beat the Bills this week. Like, they always split their series anyway. There's not really too many blowouts in that, that rivalry there. They just know each other so well. The Bills are not impressive at all. Like, they get stagnant, you know. They're supposed to beat bad teams, but they're not doing it. The Bills are not a top AFC team for me. Then losing to the Patriots, see, I told you, Patriots fans, Mac Jones is not your problem. If you get some weapons over there with Mac Jones and get some guys in their system that they can actually perform, and Mac Jones is actually doing this thing, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about at the quarterback position. Get them some playmakers out there. Bill Belichick needs to get out of there from being the GM and the coach, put somebody in that GM position and let them do the thing, you know. Let them bring the toys to Bill, let Bill do what he do. But the Patriots ended up the win on that one. I believe Mac Jones threw 272 yards. James Cook ran for 56 yards, and they performed well as a team for New England. It was a well-needed win for them. I think they probably won't win the rest of the season, but they did that thing though, beating the Bills. Next we got the Commanders. The Commanders lost to the Giants. I actually watched that game, and I said it before the game. Tyrod Taylor is in that system with the Giants is a better player than Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor in that offense looks way more efficient. They look way more enthusiastic about things. They look like they're moving faster with Tyrod Taylor out there. They're moving the ball down the field. They're consistently in the red zone with Tyrod Taylor at the quarterback. Daniel Jones just doesn't fit that team that's set up right now, and the team that is set up for Tyrod Taylor. And let's not forget, Tyrod Taylor is a guy. Like, he is a guy. You know, he can play for real. So they need to, I believe, even when Daniel Jones comes back, I think I would keep Tyrod Taylor in at the starter. Just to, you know, even though you're paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year, but he didn't have to earn that. If you're trying to win, go with Tyrod Taylor, Giants. But yeah, the Giants beat Commanders 14-7. Tyrod Taylor threw for 279 yards. Saquon ran for 77. And Darren Waller had a big game also. He had 98 yards. I believe he caught one touchdown. But that team looks different with Tyrod Taylor out there. I will continue to ride that boat and pause and keep going with what they got. Daniel Jones is not a good fit for the setup of this team right now. Next, we got the Detroit Lions getting blown out by the Baltimore Ravens, 38-6. The Ravens, I believe the Ravens are a top 2 team in the AFC when everything is rolling for them. When they don't turn the ball over, the Ravens are unbeatable. Because the only thing, it's not even just the turnovers for the Ravens. Like, when they can finish a game, they're unbeatable. I got the Ravens winning that division. Them and Cleveland's going to come down to those two at the end. Cincinnati might be in the conversation just a tad, but I believe if everybody's healthy on the Baltimore Ravens team, if Lamar Jackson is healthy, they're going to win. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That team looks great when Lamar's on the field. I believe he's currently the most winningest quarterback in the active players in the NFL as far as percentage-wise. I think he's won over 77% of his games in his career. Like, that's something you can't teach. Like, he's a winner for sure. But yeah, he beat the Detroit Lions like that, and he actually threw for 357 yards, 4 touchdowns. Detroit finally used Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 68 yards rushing. I believe he had like another 90 receiving. That team, Detroit, they're just a young team. I don't expect Detroit to be a championship contender this year. I believe they can continue to build on what they already have. Detroit is a well-oiled young team. They'll figure things out. It's not going to be a problem for them down the road. But this year just won't be their year. They might win their division though, but I believe Detroit just going to continue to figure things out. I expected them to lose to the Ravens like this. I saw this coming. So yeah, on that one. Next we got the Atlanta Falcons beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now this I did not call this one. Falcons, even though it's a rivalry game, the Falcons can win games. I'm not gonna say they're a winning team, but they can win games. They did this last year. I think didn't they start out like 5-3 last year, 6-3, something like that, and they just started losing heavily. I did have Tampa Bay beating Atlanta. I don't know what happened in that game. Tampa Bay just couldn't score. But people forget that Tampa Bay still has their core from their championship. Like, they still have Mike Evans, they still have Chris Godwin, they still have Levante David, they still have Devin White. They still have guys out there, Winfield Jr., Antoine Winfield Jr., like they still have playmakers on that team. They still have a well-coached team with Todd Bowles at the helm. I still believe that Bruce Arians will do a way better job at head coaching this team, but it is what it is, and I do see, I didn't see the Bucs losing to the Falcons, but it happened. But I think the Bucs will get it tonight when they play the Bills. I think they'll beat Buffalo. But we'll get into that later. Next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Los Angeles Rams. The Steelers are one of those teams. It's like they are a surprise team, but they're not a surprise team. But they are a surprise team. Their talent is so low, you don't expect them to win games because of their offense. But then you look at the defense and the head coach of Mike Tomlin and with T.J. Watt running that defense and Minka Fitzpatrick, like and Joey Porter Jr., like they actually are that part of the football doesn't surprise you that they're winning games, but then you look at the offense, it's like, man, Kenny Pickett, I don't know if he'll have 3 picks this game or have 110 yards total, or, Najee Harris is not going to run for 150, so what are we going to get on this offense? So that's the thing I get from Pittsburgh when I'm watching them and I see this team. You don't know what team you're going to get. So it's hard to put a finger or make bets on Pittsburgh. So I just want to make bets on Pittsburgh. But I didn't expect Pittsburgh to beat the Rams. The Rams are better than I thought also. They're in the same boat as Pittsburgh. I still haven't heard Aaron Donald's name all season. But that rookie receiver they got, Puka Nacua, he's leading the league in receptions right now with 58. I believe he's third in yards, like 750 or something like that. He only has 2 touchdowns. And Matthew Stafford is doing this thing. Their high volume offense. They're starting to run the ball. I do like their the way they're trying to do things over there. They haven't given up, you mostly teams that are that bad structurally wise, they start losing a lot, and the Rams is not going to lay down and play dead. I believe they will continue to be around the 500 mark, but I did expect them beat Pittsburgh, but I'm not surprised that Pittsburgh beat them. So that's just how it is with their route. Next we got Arizona Cardinals. So I did say a few weeks ago, a few episodes back, I believe it was episode 2, I did say that I expected the Cardinals to not win a game this season, but now that they won 2 games, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna just put them aside like that. But now seeing them play now it's starting to make sense. They're gonna start piling the losses on each other now. And they lost to a divisional rival against the Seahawks. It was 20-10. Seahawks are not flashy, but they know how to win. I could definitely see Lockett being out of there when the season is over with. Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. They're going to have to get rid of one of those when the season is up. May happen before the trade deadline. Who knows? But the Seahawks, they don't flash anything. They're not a flashy team. They just know how to go. They just know how to get the dirty wins. And in football, sometimes that's all they really need. A team that knows how to get the dirty wins. Next, we got the Denver Broncos beating the Green Bay Packers. That was such a sorry game. I didn't even know they played each other. Skip. Nah, I'm seriously though. Denver Broncos beat the Packers 19-17. He got Kareem Jackson got suspended again. He got suspended. He got fined again. This is the 4th time in 6 games he has gotten fined. He got fined 4 times out of the 6 weeks thus far, and he's suspended for some time now for the hit he did last week. But yeah, that's enough on that game. This is a sorry game. It's the Broncos and the Packers. Like, come on. Packers, y'all sorry for letting the Broncos beat y'all. But next, we got this surprised me, the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Dolphins. So I watched that game, and that Eagles-Dolphins game, it looked like such of a mismatch. The score should not have been close to it was 17-31. Like, the Dolphins offense couldn't do anything. And the way that thing is set up, I expected a fight. Like, I expected score for score of nobody scoring, and we got to get an ugly win. And that's what I expected out of the game. And for them to not do anything, not put up a fight at all. The first drive I saw, the first half, I saw Tyreek doing this thing, and didn't hear his name the rest of the game. That kind of surprised me. But A.J. Brown has been doing great. I think I saw a stat. He's one of the few receivers in the past 20 years to have 125 yards receiving in like 5 straight games. So that's big time. Jalen Hurts did fumble the ball in that game. He got to cut down these fumbles. That old brotherly shove play though, man. If it's 4th down, they might as well just give it to the Eagles. If it's like 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, just go ahead and give it to the Eagles. They will get that every time. Like, that's not even fair. They will get that every time. I think it was a stat on there. It was like out of the 58 times they ran that play in the past year, they've made it 51 times. So, what you gonna do with that? 92%. Shout out to New Heights. But that Eagles-Dolphins game wasn't what I expected. I expected a dogfight. I expected grit and grind, and it didn't happen. The Eagles just dominated Philly. I mean, they just dominated Miami, and it didn't look fair. It looked like Miami was just there, and that's not what I expected from that team. Next, got the Vikings beating the 49ers. 49ers have lost their 2nd straight game. NFL league leader in passing yards, Kirk Cousins. He threw for 378 yards. I actually thought the Vikings was going to lose the rest of the season with Justin Jefferson out and them talking about trading Kirk Cousins and him not waiving his right to be traded. But Jordan Addison stepped up at the receiver position for the Vikings, and he's done great. And I think my Chargers chose Quentin Johnston over Jordan Addison. If I'm not mistaken, I might need somebody fact check me on that one. But I believe we chose Quentin Johnston over Jordan Addison. Why? I don't know. But I definitely do see the 49ers getting back up. You know, Brock Purdy is out with concussion protocol. So he might miss this week. I think it's how Sam Darnold will start. The 49ers, they're gonna be all right. Right now, they just injuries are just their enemy right now. You know, got Chris McCaffrey hurt. You got Deebo Samuel hurt. You got Brock Purdy hurt. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was calling them the best team in football, and that still stands. Like in the long run, I do believe they are the best team in football still. Lastly, we got the Kansas City Chiefs beating my Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Superchargers. But we wasn't supercharged this game. As a Chargers fan, it frustrates me. It frustrates me to see a top offense. It's not really a top offense. We shouldn't even be a top offense because we don't have playmakers. The way our offense should be set up. I'm giving y'all a game right now. The way that our offense is set up around Justin Herbert, the quarterback that Justin Herbert is, he is the same archetype of Patrick Mahomes. He has the arm strength. I think he's a way more accurate passer than Patrick Mahomes. And only thing Patrick Mahomes probably has on him is the talent, as far as like the talent around him. If you gave Justin Herbert, Tyreek Hill in his prime and Travis Kelce in his prime, I believe Justin Herbert's going to win Super Bowls also. The way the offense is set up right now, it's not set up for the talent of Justin Herbert. He's doing this great with this talent. Keenan Allen is older now. You know, he's never been a speedster. He's never going to be the guy to blaze you. You know, Keenan Allen's best ability is one of the greatest abilities you can have as a receiver. He knows how to get open. He knows how to get open, and the ball finds him. The intermediate passing, Keenan Allen has that on lock. We don't have the Chargers offense, or what I don't like about it, we don't have a guy, and Mike Williams was supposed to be the guy, but Mike Williams he's not one of those guys to me, to where you have a guy that can take the top off the defense. A guy like Tyreek Hill, you throw the ball up, you know he's going to go get it. You know, we don't have that. If Justin Herbert has that, our offense is elevated above every other offense in the league. And to add to this, the Chargers still haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2011. Okay. We really got to figure this out because I don't want Justin Herbert to waste his career away and his talent away on mediocre offenses. And last but not least, Brandon Staley. You still got the job? I don't think Chargers want to win. He's supposed to be a defensive coach, and we got one of the worst defenses in the league. The Chargers are allowing 472 yards per game. So anybody that plays against the Chargers, you know you're about to have a big game. I don't like that. And our head coach is a quote-unquote defensive-minded head coach. Come on now. Can't have that. Can't have that at all. It hurts me to see the Chargers play, man. Next, we got the power rankings. And with the power rankings, I believe right now the best teams available, well, not power rankings, the top five in the NFC and the top five in the AFC. So in the top five in the AFC, my list, I would say, would have to be the Chiefs, number 1, the Ravens, number 2, the Dolphins, number 3, the Texans, number 4, winning that division, and then 5, I would have to bring. That's all that's all my picks right now to win that division would be the Chiefs to win the AFC West, the Ravens to win the AFC North, the Dolphins to win the AFC East, and the Texans to win the AFC South. Yes, I believe the Texans will win the AFC South with C.J. Stroud as a quarterback and their rookie, and because I just don't believe in the Jaguars. Like, they are hot and then they're cold. Most consistent team in that division has been the Texans, with a rookie at the starting quarterback and the rookie head coach in DeMeco Ryans. The 5th team, I believe they'll make a splash to squeeze into the, get into the playoffs in the AFC. Is also a team that dominates. I would say the Browns would be the number 5 team in the AFC. The Browns, that defense, and then they're doing this without Deshaun Watson playing. So imagine if Deshaun Watson was healthy and playing with that team. That defense is carrying them right now. The Browns are just a good football team. It's crazy to hear that, right? That's my top 5 for the AFC. But the reasons why I got the Chiefs number 1, because they're the defending champs. They've been in the AFC Championship 5 years in a row. They got Patrick Mahomes playing great with the offense he has. Travis Kelce is playing great, as always. Taylor Swift is giving him all the motivation he needs over there. Taylor Swift is just showing up for them. The reason why I got the Ravens at 2, because, like I said, I actually believe the Ravens can pass the Chiefs to be number 1 in the AFC. But the reason I got the Ravens number 2 behind the Chiefs is because the Ravens are a winning program. They know how to win. They just know how to do it. No matter what they have, they just know how to win. All my life, I haven't seen too many bad Ravens teams. But like I said earlier in the video, Lamar Jackson is a winner. He's won 77% of his games that he started in. That's like 4th all time. And if Lamar Jackson is lined up, he's going to play well. And even if he doesn't play well, they still have a chance to win. That's a guy that, that's a team that you have to watch out for at all times. So I think that the Ravens will end up passing the Chiefs as the number 1 team in the AFC when come playoff time. I believe the Ravens will get that first round bye if Lamar is healthy throughout the season. Dolphins at 3. Dolphins, I seen enough of the Dolphins this year to where, well, 1, we should have beat them week 1. It was 34-36, and we just couldn't get anything going on that last drive. We were scoring for scoring that game. Like, our defense couldn't stop them, and their defense couldn't stop us. And it wasn't even our whole defense. It was just J.C. Jackson. He got burnt plenty of times by Tyreek Hill, and that's why he's out of there. But I believe that the Dolphins are too inconsistent. Like, their offense, how you gonna score 70 points in one game and literally score 20 the next game? That's the epitome of their whole offense. So the Dolphins is doing that. That's what they're doing. They'll have a high week, then they'll have a low week. If you want to be one of the top teams in the league, you got to keep that consistently. The reason number 4, I got the Texans at 4 because I believe this team confidence is so high. In football, all you need is confidence and common sense. And the Houston Texans are playing like a common sense, confident team. Like, them guys are going out there doing their thing. C.J. Stroud is playing out his mind. It looks like he has no pressure whatsoever. They gave him the keys to the offense, and he's showing up. DeMeco Ryans is doing his thing over there and making them guys believe in themselves, and they have common sense. He's bringing that from the 49ers organization. They have common sense over there in Houston. So I believe that's why I got Houston winning that division, and also because the Jaguars just haven't showed enough to where you like, okay, that's the team right there to win that division. The Texans actually have that ability. They have that ability. So that's why I got the Texans at 4 in the AFC. And 5, I got the Browns. Because I already said that defense is going to carry them to the playoffs. That defense is going to do things with the Browns. Like, the Browns defense is going to carry them far. In the NFC side, number one team, my guys, Philadelphia Eagles, of course. I wasn't going to choose the Eagles at the number one. I had the 49ers at one, but the reason why I put the Eagles over the 49ers is because the deal they just made to go get Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans, that solidified their defense even more. That's what they needed over there. They need a little bit more toughness on that defense, a little bit more consistency, and then they're just hurt up right now. But teams, I was telling Spank today that teams that make moves during the season, like Philly did by trading for Kevin Byard and signing Julio Jones, you don't sign Julio Jones to be like, oh, he about to get us 100 catches. No, he's not there for that. He's there for the leadership. He's already been in the Super Bowl. He's played with some great talent quarterbacks, and he's going to be able to go to Philly to be in that wide receiver room to help those younger guys, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. You know, it's a reason that A.J. Brown vouched for him to come to Tennessee. It's the reason why he vouched for him to come to Philly this time. So I believe the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. They're making the moves they need necessary to become the best team in football. But I got them at number one. The only reason I got this team at number two, the 49ers, is because injuries right now. I think injuries right now is really dampening them. I would love to see a matchup with the Eagles and the 49ers to see how that would go when both teams are, fully healthy. I got the 49ers at two because their defense, not their defense, but their offense is hurt. They're banged up. You got Debo out, hurt. You got Chris McCaffrey hurt. You got Brock Purdy hurt. He's injured. He's in the concussion protocol. So Sam Darnold is supposed to start for them. And I don't expect too many things from their offense while those guys are out. So right now, I got them at number two behind Philly in the NFC. Number three in the NFC, I got the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, and then number four, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's my four division leaders I will have at the end of the season. I got the Eagles winning the NFC East. I got the 49ers winning the NFC West. I got the Lions winning the NFC North, and I had the Bucks winning the NFC South. The reason why I have the Lions at number three is because they're youth. They're so young. I think their most experienced player on that roster is Jared Goff. He's been playing out his mind this year so far. They're a tough team. They're a physical team. They're a team that they're going to come punch you in the mouth. They're not a team that you can just come in and think you're just going to run over. Nah, that's not going to happen with Detroit. They epitomize the city. The image of the city, the toughness, the grit, the grind. That's what Detroit Lions epitomize for that city. And that's what they go out there and play like. That's why I got them number three in the NFC. Number four is the Bucks. I got Tampa Bay Buccaneers at four for reasons of they still have the championship core together with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. I was thinking Mark, you get it. But Mike Evans, you still got Antoine Whitfield Jr., you still got Levante David, you still got Devin White. That is still a good roster that's built over there. I wish that Bruce Arians would have came back and been the guy to run that offense with Baker Mayfield, because Baker Mayfield has been playing great this year so far. I got them winning that division because I don't see the Saints making too much of a problem for them, and I don't see Atlanta being too consistent to where they can just come up and beat those guys. And then the Panthers are the Panthers. But the fifth team in the NFC I got would probably be between the Seahawks and the Rams. But right now, I would say the Seahawks because they get the ugly wins. You play get down and dirty football. You go out and perform like they're doing. They're going to get you the ugly wins, and you just pay Geno Smith to go out there and do his thing. He's doing his thing. Of course, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are going to do their thing. Jackson Smith and Jigba just had his first big game, being the team leader this past week. And they actually beat the Rams. So that's why I would take the Seahawks over the Rams. And I see the Seahawks being that number 5 team in the NFC this season. They're a consistent team. You know, when they got rid of Russell Wilson, teams thought that they were just going to drop off and Geno Smith ain't this, Geno Smith ain't that, and they're actually performing. So that's why I got them 5 in the NFC. That's my top 5 in the NFC, my top 5 in the AFC. Next, my prediction for the MVP so far. So far, my prediction was Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was my prediction to win the MVP, but he's hurt. And then another part of it too, even if he wasn't hurt, they don't give running backs the MVP position. Like, they don't give running backs MVP. Derrick Henry ran 2,000 yards a couple years back. Only 6-7 players in history have done that, and he didn't get MVP. And he led his team to first in the league that year. So they didn't give him the MVP. I don't see them doing the same thing to Christian McCaffrey this year, even if he does come back and play lights out the rest of the season. But I had Christian McCaffrey, but I do have Lamar Jackson winning the MVP this season. Lamar Jackson is my MVP because he is winning again. I believe they're 5-2. They just blew out a Detroit Lions team, a tough Detroit Lions team. Lamar Jackson is playing great, given the talent that he has with his starting running back, J.K. Dobbins, being out for season already. Odell Beckham hasn't been the guy they expected him to be. Zay Flowers is playing great. Mark Andrews is playing great. I definitely got Lamar winning MVP. He's showing teams that he can beat you with his arm. He's been showing teams he can beat you with his arm. But nobody want to believe him. So he's just going out there doing his thing. So I got Lamar winning MVP so far this season. The Ravens just need to continue to build on this, continue to beat their division opponents, beat the Browns, beat the Steelers, beat the Bengals. And Lamar will definitely win the MVP, especially if they pass Kansas City as number 1 team in the AFC. If the Ravens go up to number 1 in the AFC, Lamar's winning MVP. If they don't give him MVP for that, they don't know what they're doing. And then I think the people done showed us already, they don't know what they're doing. The teams that surprised me there's 3 teams actually. 2 for good reasons and 1 for a terrible reason. The 2 teams that surprised me for good reasons is the Steelers and the Rams. The Steelers surprise me, but they don't surprise me. It's just like, I seen that offense, and that offense is not it. It's just not it. They don't have that factor. But they know how to get you wins with their defense. The offense do just enough to where Mike Tomlin can coach them into a win. That's what I get with the Steelers. The Rams surprised me also because I expected the Rams to not win a game this year, and they're actually competitive. The Rams, I think they're 3-3, might be 4-3, but they played. Cooper Kupp just got back. He's been performing well. Puka Nacua is probably going to win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC. I definitely like the way that Matthew Stafford has been playing. But last but not least, my boy, Aaron Donald. His name has not been on anything. I haven't seen a highlight on Aaron Donald. I haven't seen his name being yelled out. Nothing. I think Aaron Donald needs to get out of the Rams system. Come on over to the LA team. What is Aaron Donald worth, though, at this point in his career? Is he worth a 2nd and a 3rd? Is he worth a 1st? Is he worth 2 firsts? Like, what is he worth? I think Aaron Donald need to go ahead and get up off of that team. They can go ahead and get value back for him. It's Aaron Donald. And I think the Chargers to make that move because our defense is horrible. We need a guy like Aaron Donald on our defense. And if we made that trade for Aaron Donald, let's say we give up a 2nd and a 3rd for him. The Rams get back their draft picks they traded away, and they have a future again. Just a little bit of it. I would even give up a 1st for Aaron Donald. He's worth it. Chargers, give up that first round pick for Aaron Donald. It'll automatically put us back in the hunt. Which leads me to my 3rd team, what surprised me for bad reasons. My Chargers. Every single year since Justin Herbert has been drafted. So let me give you guys a little backstory. When the draft happened, so I am a big college football fan. when I saw from Justin Herbert in college, I understand the college of football and the NFL game is different, but the system that he's playing in college, I didn't see what he's doing in the NFL. So at the time, us having the 6th pick and the Dolphins having the 5th pick, I knew they said the Dolphins were going to take a quarterback at 5. My fingers were crossed. I was like, oh, I hope we get Tua. I hope we get Tua. I hope we get Tua. I hope Tua falls to us. I hope the Dolphins choose Justin Herbert and we get Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. There we go. Tua Tagovailoa. I was hoping that we would have got him over Justin at the time. So when they finally started playing, I'm looking at Justin Herbert like he was not showing this in Oregon. So I definitely am glad that we got Justin. But what disappoints me about this Chargers team is we're not putting talent around Justin to where we can see his full potential. And funny thing about it, Justin is still developing. You guys remember, he wasn't starting when he came in. Tyrod Taylor was our starter. And then he got the lung puncture. That's what sent him out for the season. And when Justin came in, he just never gave the keys back to the offense. And Justin is special. It's only a few quarterbacks in the league that are special. I'll probably say about 4 that are special. And that's Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, maybe Joe Burrow. It's only 4 quarterbacks that are special. Young quarterbacks that are special. So they have those factors. They have that it factor. You put any system around them, I believe they'll perform well. They'll get you some wins. That's why it frustrates me so much as a Chargers fan to see how we're doing with Justin at the helm and we're not doing much with him. I definitely am disappointed in my team. They surprised me, especially after making the playoffs last year. I was like, okay, we're going to build on this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I see them play. It's like we're right there. Coach making terrible decisions. The defense giving up 472 yards a game. Patrick Mahomes just threw 424 yards on us. I think that's the most he's ever thrown on us since Justin's been there. So I'm looking at the offense. I'm looking at the team like, dang, I don't know what to expect with this team, man. This Chargers team gives you headaches. I have gray hair growing in because of them. The teams that disappointed me, like I said, my Chargers for the reasons I just gave. Another team that disappointed me is the Titans. The Titans have so much talent, but I think they're selling now. I think they're finally realizing to themselves Ryan Tannehill is not the guy. Their best chance was to win 2 years ago when they went 12-4. Or was it? Yeah, I think they went 12-4. And Derrick Henry ran the 2,000 yards. They lost in the AFC Championship to the Chiefs. That was their best chance to win right there. And they didn't do it. They stunk the bed, you know. Ryan Tannehill is not the guy. They should have been figured this out. I would have already gave Will Levis the chance to go ahead and start. And, you know, let's start the Will Levis era. Trade Derrick Henry, get some value back. He's worth a second or a third rounder. Go to trade DeAndre Hopkins away. Ask him where did he want to go. He got his money. Ask him, go up to him, hey, what team you want to play for? We'll guarantee he has this contract, and what team you want to go to? Another team can use DeAndre Hopkins' talent right now. The Titans should be selling. I expected them to do way more. I was like, I would watch the Titans come in and just make plays all over the place. They could be in the hunt, and then they're 2-5 come week 7. So I wasn't expecting them at all. I'm definitely disappointed in the Tennessee Titans. I have a third team that I'm maybe disappointed in. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills offense was built to be like this. You know, ever since that overtime game with the Chiefs a few years back in the AFC Championship, they was like the Bills were like this rivalry between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. We pushing this now. This is what's going to happen. And those guys are not, the Buffalo Bills haven't been the same since. Like Josh Allen might have 400 total all-purpose yards one game and have 178 the next game, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, two fumbles. Like, that team is entirely too inconsistent. And me and Spank have been saying this for so long. I'm going to get Spank up here, but we definitely have been saying this for so long. The Bills need to go ahead and invest in a running back. I would have loved for Dalvin Cook to go with them before the season. Dalvin Cook would have been perfect on that team. His brother's already there, James Cook. And that's all the Bills need on that offense is a running back because they can't run the ball. And their quarterback have to be their leading rusher. So that's just a clusterfuck. Like, I don't see the Bills winning anything as long as that team is set up like that. But they have disappointed me so much. Their drop-off has been crazy. So what I did expect that is happening, I did expect the Chiefs and the 49ers to come in and dominate the way they are. The Chiefs aren't necessarily dominating, but the 49ers are dominating. But I expected both teams to win the way they are. I knew both teams would be at the top of both conferences respectively. And I expected this, it's not a surprise to me what the two teams are doing. I'm glad that the 49ers went ahead and got their injuries out the way so early, so I hope some guys come back and can finish out the season strong. Could we see a Super Bowl repeat? Who knows? We'll see. But we're going to go on to the league leaders this year so far. In the league so far, the league leaders are in passing, we got Tua Tagovailoa, number one at 2,092 yards passing. Kirk Cousins is leading the league in passing touchdowns with 16. Christian McCaffrey is leading the league in rushing yards with 598. This is week 7, y'all. So right here, week 7, this is all the league leaders. And we got Raheem Mostert leading the league in touchdowns at 9. We got Tyreek Hill leading the league in yardage. Receiving is with 902 yards. He has 902 yards catching in 7 games. Think about that, y'all. 7 weeks, he has 902 yards receiving. It's crazy. He could be an MVP candidate. He is the league leader in receiving touchdowns also with 7. He has 7 receiving touchdowns. The league leader in sacks is Daniel Hunter. I actually saw Daniel Hunter's name in the trade talks. Like the Vikings might be selling to see what they can get for him. I don't know what they can who can use him right now. I can say that a contender that can use him right now will probably, I would probably say the Cincinnati Bengals could use him. They can get another pass rusher. Trying to think, Houston Texans might could use him. Get over there with Will Anderson. I would say the Jaguars could use him because Josh Allen and what's the guy, the number 1 pick from last year? I don't even know his name. Walker. He hasn't been performing like a number 1 pick. So yeah, those are Daniel Hunter could possibly end up on another team before the trade deadline. But week 8 so far, well not so far, but coming up week 8, we have the games that are coming up. We got, let's see. First game, Thursday Night Football tonight. We got the Buffalo Bills and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got Buffalo winning that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win. Matter of fact, I'm going to change. I got the Bills winning because the Bills need to win. If the Bills lose again, they'll be 4-4. I think they'll push them down to, they're already under the Dolphins in their division. But I think they'll be under the Jets too, because Jets only have 3 losses. They're 3-3. So the Jets will be half a game ahead of Buffalo if Buffalo loses tonight. So if Buffalo loses tonight, the Jets will go up to 2nd place in that division. And that's what the Bills don't want. I got Buffalo winning the game, beating Tampa Bay tonight. I say the score will be 24-17. Houston Texans versus the Carolina Panthers. It's the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick. Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud. I hate when they do this because they're not even on the field at the same time. So it's really like the defense versus these guys. But I expect that to be a pretty uninteresting game. The Carolina Panthers are not an interesting team to watch. I don't like the way teams don't prepare their picks to be successful. They haven't Adam Thielen is okay, but he's like with the Chargers boat with Keenan Allen. Adam Thielen and Keenan Allen are like the same type of receiver where they'll get open, but don't expect them to beat people downfield. Don't expect them to get the yak yardage. Don't expect them to just be playmakers. They can get open, but that's about it. They can catch it just about anywhere. But I expect the Texans to beat the Panthers pretty bad. I'll probably say that game will probably be 34-20, the Texans. C.J. Stroud is going to outperform the number 1 pick, Bryce Young. I do see the Texans coming in Carolina and beating the Panthers like that. But like I said, Bryce Young has been improving every week. So we just go key in on the game, see how that goes. And Carolina's coming off a bye week also. Next, we got the Saints versus the Colts. Gardner Minshew versus Derek Carr. I got New Orleans winning the game simply because I think the Colts want to lose. I think they want to tank. I believe they're going to go after another top pick in the draft. I think they should go after Marvin Harrison Jr. Wouldn't that be wild if the Colts get Marvin Harrison Jr. and Marvin Harrison Sr.? They're crazy. But I do see the Saints beating the Colts. I'd say the score in that game it'll be pretty close. I'll say 27-20, the Saints. Next, we got the Rams and the Cowboys. Ooh, that's a good one. I got the Rams beating Dallas. Dallas doesn't have the scary factor anymore to where teams fear them. The way they did at the beginning of the season, the way their defense was playing, and they're not that same team as they were in week 1. Dallas can beat bad teams, but they lose to good teams. So that's what that's the story of Dallas life. I got the Rams beating the Cowboys. I'll say it'll be 21-10. I don't see the Cowboys scoring a lot. 21-10 this game. The Saints, not the Saints, but the Rams will beat the Cowboys 21-10. That's what my pick would be. I got next we got the Vikings, and the Vikings playing the Packers. This is a divisional game. I'm not going to read too much into that win. The Vikings just got over 49ers. I do see the Packers beating the Vikings. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a high-scoring game also. I believe that game 30-27. It might. Don't be surprised if that game goes into overtime. I see the Packers beating the Vikings 30-27. Kirk Cousins and those guys, he pulling out wins out of nowhere. But Packers just have more optimism with that team. I think the final score on that game will be 30-27. Next, we got the Patriots and the Dolphins. Spank said that the Patriots are going to beat the Dolphins this week. Nah. I see this going one-sided. I see Dolphins beating the Patriots pretty bad, even though it is a divisional game. And the Patriots shut down the Dolphins earlier in the season. Yeah, they played them early in the season, well, they didn't shut down the Dolphins. They shut down Tyreek. I think Tyreek had like 49 yards, 58 yards in the game, but the Dolphins won. So I see the Dolphins getting their lick back and Tyreek going big in this game. That game, I'll say it'll probably be something like, I'm gonna say 35-7, Dolphins beating the New England Patriots. Next, we got the Jets and the Giants, the Battle of New York. The Giants. This could be the first test for Tyrod Taylor. He's going up against a Jets defense that is stingy. I want to see how this is gonna go. I do see the Jets losing to the Giants in a close game. I believe this is going to be one of those games where Zach Wilson turns the ball over a lot. He hasn't done it in a few weeks, but this will be one of those games where he takes his eye off the ball, and Zach Wilson will do a lot of makes a lot of bad decisions this game. I see the Giants beating them 14-10. Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons versus the Tennessee Titans. I got the Titans beating the Falcons. Even though the Titans are disappointing me this season, I do see the Titans beating the Falcons. But if the Falcons do beat the Titans, I can see the Titans just revamping the whole team. They're selling guys. They're gonna get rid of guys. They started with Kevin Byard. I think Derrick Henry may be next, because he can get a lot for him. I can see the Titans beating the Vikings. I got Titans beating the Falcons. I got Titans beating the Falcons. Final score of that game I say would be 20-17. This will be a pretty close one. Next, we got the Jaguars and the Steelers. Ooh, they're both 4-2. But I got the Jaguars beating the Steelers. And I don't even know if it's even going to be close. I think this will be a blowout. I think this could be a blowout. The Jaguars, they want to take helm of that narrative that they're a winning team now. So, in order for them to do that, they have to beat the brakes off the Steelers this week. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I'm saying the Jaguars need that to be a blowout for them to make a statement. Excuse me. I got the Jaguars beating the Steelers, though. Final score would be 27-24. Matter of fact, 27-20. I got Jaguars beating Pittsburgh. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles playing against the Washington Commanders again. This is the second meeting. Remember in the first meeting, Commanders took them to overtime, and the Eagles just kicked the one on the field goal. The Commanders were getting sacked all over the place. Sam Howell leads the league in sacks. I think he's on par to break the record for sacks. Quarterback being sacked in the season. The Commanders, they are on the up and up though. I can definitely see them maybe pulling out a win against the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Eagles is right now just looking like the best team in football. And they're proving it. And then with that pick they just got with Kevin Byard, I think that's going to put them over the top. So I see the Commanders beating. I do see the Commanders beating the Eagles. The same score it was last game, but just flip-flop on who won it. 34-31. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns and Seattle Seahawks. I have these Cleveland Browns winning just because that defense, man. Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, and those guys are going to get after Geno Smith. I like the way Cleveland plays. They play old school football, defense first, and they run the ball well. Even with Deshaun Watson now, they got guys on that team they can trust. And P.J. Walker is not doing a bad job at all. So I do got Cleveland beating Seattle, going into Seattle and getting a win. The final score of the game, I say it will be 31-28, Cleveland. Next game, we got the Ravens and the Cardinals. I see the Ravens blowing the Cardinals out. That's an easy win for the Ravens. It could be a trap game, but I don't really see it. I see the Ravens going there and getting this easy win against the Cardinals. The Cardinals did take. Kyler Murray did practice with the team this past week for the first time all season. But the Ravens, there's no way, unless guys get hurt, there's no way the Ravens are going to lose to the Cardinals. Next, we got the Chiefs against the Broncos. The Broncos are Broncos, but I got the Chiefs beating the brakes off the Broncos. Patrick Mahomes just came and threw 424 yards on us. I see him doing the same thing against the Broncos. That's going to be an easy win for the Chiefs. I see the Chiefs winning that game. Score would be 27 to 10. 27 to 10. The Broncos they're just not that team. Like, they paid all their money to Sean Payton. They gave up some draft picks. They gave up a lot for Russell Wilson. That team is just not it. I got the Chiefs beating them bad. Next, we got the Bengals and the 49ers. I believe this will be the third loss in a row to the 49ers. It was announced today that Sam Darnold will be starting in the place of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is still in concussion protocol. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey and Debo will be able to play this game, but I just don't see these 49ers. It's going to be an ugly game, but I don't see the 49ers just beating the Bengals this week. I do have the Bengals winning the game. It's going to be ugly. It's going to come down to who turns the ball over less. And I see the Bengals winning that game 17-14. The 49ers offense is just hurt up. And then Joe Burrow and those guys, they have won a few games in a row already, so I can see them winning that game 17-14 over the 49ers, giving the 49ers their third loss in a row. Sunday night football, my guys, Chicago Bears playing my Los Angeles Superchargers. We're not super this year. I got us beating the Bears. Justin Fields is out again. I can see us blowing the Bears out. Justin Herbert has a lot of like people coming at him and talking like, oh, he ain't a closer, he ain't this, he ain't that. I see us blowing the Bears out this week, this Sunday night, and I don't see that game being close at all. I think I would say the score would be 34 to 14 Chargers. We're gonna beat the brakes off the Bears. And last but not least, Monday night, you got the Raiders and the Lions. I believe that's gonna be an ugly game also. The Raiders just need to go ahead and start over. They need to go ahead and tank. Go ahead and tank for Caleb Williams or Shedeur Sanders. Go ahead and trade Max Crosby away. Let him go win somewhere else. Detroit needs to win. Coming off that blowout, and I don't see them losing back-to-back games, especially to the Raiders. Like, come on now. They go get back on up this week, and I see that game being not close at all. I believe the Lions will beat the Raiders 35 to 14. That's what I got winning it. The Lions. So yeah, that's the predictions for the week. And yeah, but without further ado, the NBA season just started. We're about to get into it. I want to see what you guys got in the comments below. Name who will win the championship, but be legit about it. Cavaliers. But the opening night was pretty impressive to where, or I say opening night, I mean the first two nights where the first game was Tuesday night, then Wednesday night where everybody else played, and then tonight we got two teams that haven't played yet, the Sixers and the Bucks, and they play each other. So I'm ready to see how this is gonna look. So with the NBA, on the NBA side, we got my boys, Cleveland Cavaliers, winning our first game of the season. It's a lot of surprises so far. Teams that look well, the teams that didn't look well. So the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm gonna start with the Los Angeles Lakers. I said before the season, I believe it was the first episode. Go check, go fact check me. I said this in episode 1 that the Los Angeles Lakers should move LeBron James to the 4 and start him at the 4. But the only way for them to be effective with it is he do not need to bring the ball up the court. But I believe he has so much of a, I don't know what it is with LeBron. He has to bring the ball up the court. Think about it. LeBron at the 4. He could pass out the 4. He cannot be guarded at the 4. Like, imagine the power forward trying to guard LeBron James, where his footwork is so impeccable, he can get any shot off down there. You can't guard him. He's quicker than the big man. He's stronger than the little man. Like, so you can't play either side on him at the 4, but he has to be on the block. He cannot be on the wing. He has to be on the block at this. And then it'll save him too. They say they'll try to restrict his minutes this year to 30 minutes a game. You're not gonna win. Not doing that. LeBron needs to be down that floor already in the post while D'Angelo or Austin Reeves is bringing the ball up the court already. LeBron needs to be out there down the court in post already. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't think Taurean Prince should be starting at the 3. I think their starting 3 they should move either not Christian Wood, but Cam Reddish into the 3 to spread the floor a little bit more as a shooter and let him spot up somewhere else on the opposite side with LeBron, because you know LeBron is going to find him. Taurean Prince just doesn't fit that starting lineup. You don't have any shooters. Like, Austin Reeves is an okay shooter, and D'Angelo Russell is a volume shooter. He's going to be up, he's going to be down. Anthony Davis, I don't know why you want him shooting more threes, but AD should not be shooting threes. And on AD, really, you had 17 points in the first quarter, or first half, and didn't score anymore? Really? Okay. The Lakers need to change the way they do things as far as the setup. Darvin Ham needs to let LeBron know, hey, let these younger guys bring the ball up the court. Trust your guards. You are 38 going on 39. You need to be in that post already because they can't guard you down there. I'm not saying that you can't play on the wing. What I am saying is if you're trying to win, get the best mismatch you can, and the mismatches are right now, LeBron James cannot be guarded in the paint. He cannot be guarded in the paint. His footwork is impeccable. He's too big for them to play small ball against him. He's too strong for that. And he's too fast for them to try to put a big man on him. LeBron is going to kill every time. Like, he's going to play great doing that. But I don't see the Lakers doing that. I don't see LeBron wanting to do that. So that's why I think the Lakers are not going to win this year. They're not even in the top 4 in the West for me. But we'll get into that. So the Lakers did lose their season opener against Denver Nuggets. Joker had a triple-double to start the season. Dude playing, like he said, still in the finals already. It's like he ain't even finished. Season ain't even over. Season wasn't even over. Then you got Phoenix beating Golden State. Chris Paul got some chants from the Golden State arena. They were chanting his name in San Francisco. Steph Curry did have he had a great shooting night. Clay struggled a bit. Jonathan Kuminga did look good. Moses Moody did look good. Draymond was out. Andrew Wiggins looked good. I understand, like, with this is the starting lineup they need to have. The Warriors do. The starting lineup the Warriors need to have is Chris Paul at the 1, Steph Curry at the 2, Clay at the 3, Wiggs at the 4, Kevon Looney at the 5. When Draymond comes back, Draymond needs to come off the bench. Not because he's not good, it's because that's the perfect position for him to where now he is the Andre Iguodala that they had a few years ago when they was winning back-to-back. When they were at their best, it was because they had a guy that was pass first, he could play defense, he can guard any position, and he's carrying the ball to the court, he can move the ball. He plays team basketball. Their bench needs that. Draymond is that. The reason why you can't start Draymond and Draymond and Chris Paul at the same time is because they are the same player. What I mean by that is they both are not looking to score. They're trying to pass first. So if you got two guys that's in the starting lineup, they're trying to pass first and not score the ball. First instinct as a defender is, I ain't got to guard these two. So it's 3-on-5. You got Clay, really 2-on-5 with Clay and Steph because Kevon Looney's not going to find his own shot. So he going to get the trash buckets. So with Draymond and Chris in at the same time, you got two guys on the floor that is not looking to score the ball. And that is the recipe for disaster. You know, I'm not saying that Chris Paul cannot score because he can. He's one of the greatest scorers at the point guard position. He's a great shooter. I was surprised me he's never got a 50, 40, 90 club. But Chris Paul and Draymond should not start together because they're trying to get the same thing. They're trying to get guys involved. They're trying to put guys in position. They're not looking They're not looking at the basket, and that's why that's not a good starting lineup. Because then if you do start Draymond, who do you move to the bench? Kevon Looney? Now you're too small at the 5. You keep Kevon Looney in. You move Wiggs to the 4. Move Wiggs to the bench. Now you got an all-star on the bench with Andrew Wiggins. Like, that's just not, no, that's not going to work. And that bench is going to look the same with Andrew Wiggins on the bench, but it'll look better with Draymond coming off the bench for that team. I don't know if y'all remember, but when Jordan Poole would come in and Clay and Steph and Dre would go to the bench last season, they had one of the worst defenses in the league. The ball was not moving. Guys were not getting involved. That's why they had Kuminga. His name was in trade talks because of that. Draymond will fill that gap. He can, like I said, he can be the Andre Iguodala for that team, and they'll play great with him in that system, coming off the bench. And he's willing to do it too. He's willing to do it. He's shown that he's willing to come off the bench. Couple debuts. Brandon Miller for the Charlotte Hornets debuted at 13 points. Charlotte Hornets did beat the Atlanta Hawks. Charlotte Hornets. Why would you draft Brandon Miller number 2 overall and start P.J. Washington and Gordon Hayward over him? Why? Why do that? I know Gordon Hayward is your guy. That's the guy you pay. You're paying $30 million a year for him. But why would you draft the guy 2nd overall and you don't start him? And at this point right now, Brandon Miller is probably better than Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward had 10 points. Brandon Miller had 13 off the bench. This is what the Charlotte Hornets should do. They might not win the championship doing this, but when have the Charlotte Hornets ever tried to win the championship anyway? But the Charlotte Hornets should trade Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier for James Harden. Bring James Harden to Charlotte. Put James Harden in that starting lineup with that team. Let James Harden do whatever he wants with LaMelo Ball and start Brandon Miller. That's a playoff team for sure. And Charlotte, you're going to sell a lot of tickets having James Harden on your team. People that want to go come see James Harden play. It's a win-win. Then Philly gets the pieces they need. Terry Rozier will be in his true position at the point. Then you'll get Gordon Hayward to come off the bench in Philly. They'll have a better team with that. I don't know. But starting Gordon Hayward over Brandon Miller, that's crazy. Like, okay, what are they going to do when Miles Bridges come back? Who are they going to send to the bench? You feel what I mean? So, but all in all, Brandon Miller had he had played a well debut. A couple guys played a debut. The guy that stuck out to me last night was Kristaps Porzingis. Anybody remember this sound bite? Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus? The Knicks. The Boston Celtics beat the Knicks. They were up big. I think at one point they was up by like 15 and they blew the lead. Kristaps Porzingis lit his whole team up. He remember all the boos and everything. He remember getting traded from them guys. He actually fits Boston perfectly. It's a perfect marriage with that guy, with Boston. And then to add Drew Holiday on top of that, man, Boston, dangerous. Boston actually is the top 2 team in the East with Milwaukee. But Jason Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis played great. I believe they both ended up with about 64 points together. The highest paid player in the NBA, Jaylen Brown, did struggle. I wouldn't say struggle. He was 4 for 11, so a little less than 45%. But he scored 11 points. And on the Knicks, when is Julius Randle going to realize that he's not number 1 option anymore? I think Jalen Brunson came in and took that over without saying. Jalen Brunson and R.J. Barrett should be the two centerpieces for the Knicks. I'm not saying you should trade Julius Randle. I'm not saying trade Julius Randle. What I am saying is let him know he's not the number 1 or the 2 option anymore. He's okay. He can be a great number 3 option, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when he's the focal point of the offense is stagnant. The offense does not move. They struggle. He ended up with 14 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Julius Randle did. R.J. Barrett had 24. Jalen Brunson had 15. And Emmanuel quickly had 24 off the bench. So, yeah. My Cleveland Cavaliers, who I think are the number 3 team in the East, behind the Bucks and the Celtics, I think we're the 3rd best team in the East. There's too much problems going on with Philly right now with the James Harden situation. And Miami, they lost too much on that team. And Atlanta might be the closest team to us. I'll say Atlanta probably be the number 4 team in the East. But Cleveland, we won the buzzer beater with Donovan Mitchell. Him and Max Strus both had 28 points. They both played well. They put us in position to do things to win a game. But the guy of that game the player of that game is Cam Thomas. When is Jacques Vaughn and the Brooklyn Nets going to realize that Cam Thomas is your best scorer? He's your best scorer. Spencer Dinwiddie does not need to start anymore. Come on, y'all. Cam Thomas is your best scorer. I'll go even further and say Cam Thomas is probably a top 10, 15 scorer in the NBA. Natural scoring ability, he's top 15 in the NBA scoring. Cam Thomas, I don't think y'all understand how gifted this guy is as a scorer. Cam Thomas does his thing, and when are the Brooklyn Nets going to realize that? He scored 36 points off the bench. Come on. And I think he did it in less than 30 minutes. So, Brooklyn, get on your job. I said this last year when he scored 40 points in a row, 4 times in a row in a game. Y'all, what is Brooklyn doing? I said this last year. What is Brooklyn doing? There's no way that Cam Thomas is coming off the bench still for Spencer Dinwiddie. Come on. But on brighter news on that side, Ben Simmons did play great. He ended up with 4 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He also got him a block on the night, but on 2 turnovers. And Ben Simmons is going to continue to work things out in the season and continue to get better as the season goes along. But the 2 teams that stuck out to me in the NBA last night were the Detroit Pistons, even though they lost. I got Detroit being the play-in team this year. Detroit, with Cade Cunningham coming back, he scored 30 last night. I do see that team doing something. Detroit, they have a great coach in Monty Williams over there. They have a nice system. They have nice things going on. I don't know why James Wiseman didn't play heavy minutes last night. Maybe they're just too big at the big man position. They didn't play him. Or maybe he'll play more next game. But that Detroit team is going to be a team that I'm going to key in on all season. I like the Detroit Pistons this year. I'll say play in. The other team that stuck out to me was that I'll be watching was who was it? The Clippers. So, Clipper fans. So, yes, the Clippers are the best team in LA. The Clippers, I think the thing with Clippers is everybody knows, it's just health. That boils down to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George's health. I think they'll have a great year this year because their contract, they can't opt out after the season, get a new contract, so they're probably going to play their hearts out and play through injuries and things. But if we can see them play, they only played 38 games together last season, and they were still number 4 in the fifth, number 5 in the West. if they can play 55 games together, just them two, play together 55 games, they could potentially have the best record in the West. So they beat Portland last night. Portland had a well-rounded game as a team. DeAndre Ayton talking about dominating, that ain't it. You ain't dominating a damn thing. Sit your ass down. Portland just has a well-rounded young team. They'll figure things out down the line. Not this year, though. But, yeah, the two teams for me would be Detroit to watch, and I will also watch the Clippers closely just to see how those things work. But the thing is, the Clippers do not trade for James Harden. If you trade for James Harden, all bets are off. You know, it's going to mess things up. You're probably going to have to give up Terrence Mann for James Harden, and he's not worth Terrence Mann. Why would you give up a guy that's almost 10 years younger than him, and he's playing way more energy for that team? Like, the Clippers doesn't need another scorer. They just need health. Guys are going to play. So, yeah, I got the Clippers and the Detroit being the teams to watch for me this season. And let's talk about Wembanyama, Victor Wembanyama's debut. This is a legit question. I'm a real sports fan, so when I say this, I do not mean to be disrespectful by asking this. What's the difference between Victor Wembanyama right now and Bol right now? They both are 7'3" plus. They both are tall, lanky guys that can dribble. They both have the same type of skill set. They both can block anything going up. Like, is the only difference because they're where they're drafted at? Because people forget that Bol was also a top 5 draft prospect coming into the league. He failed because of two things. He had the injury, he had to rehab, so people didn't think he was going to play it out. And they say his attitude was bad, like immaturity. Like, they're talking about he doesn't prepare well and this, that, and third. But we saw in Orlando what he was capable of when he actually got minutes to play. So, legit question, what's the difference between Victor Wembanyama and Bol? I wish Bol could have been able to sign with the San Antonio Spurs and him and Victor Wembanyama together, playing the same type of skill set and both developing together. Oh my gosh. But anyway, tonight, the lineup tonight is the Philadelphia 76ers travel to Milwaukee to play the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning that game. James Harden is not playing, but he will be present in the team. He did join the team yesterday. Milwaukee, I do expect Milwaukee to win. It's going to be a close game than what people think. It's not going to be a blowout or anything, but I do expect Giannis and Dame to improve on their chemistry and see how things are going to go with this going forward. And Phoenix plays the Lakers tonight. The Suns have problems. I think the over and under thing I saw was a KD over and under 30.5 points. Definitely go over that because Bradley Beal is out and Devin Booker is out. And in order for the Phoenix to even think about winning this game, Kevin Durant has to go out there and score at least 35. So, but I do see Anthony Davis bouncing back this game and playing great. I got the Lakers beating them, and I want them to get ready to see that in a few actually. But yeah, the surprise teams, like I said, is going to be, for me, it's going to be the Pistons, the Clippers, and we're going that's the teams I'm going to key in on outside of my Cavaliers this year. And the top 4 teams I chose, this is my top 4 teams in the East and West. In the East, my top 4 teams in this order: the Bucks 1, Celtics 2, Cavaliers 3, Atlanta Hawks 4. In the West, I got the Suns with best record in the West. I got the Clippers 2. I got the Nuggets 3. And then I got John Morant and the Grizzlies finishing out as 4. I do have, in an older video, I think it's episode 1, I do have the Grizzlies winning the West when Ja comes back. And I have my Cavaliers not playing. I got the Celtics beating Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals to go to the finals. Both teams are top heavy, but the difference maker for the difference between the Celtics and the Bucks, Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is going to give Dame Lillard hell on defense. His defending ability to be out there and do things that he do on defense, Drew Holiday is going to be the guy that makes a difference for the Celtics and for the whole team, the East and right now for the East, but for the Celtics and the Bucks whole structure. I believe Drew Holiday is going to be the guy to go in there and be the reason that the Celtics beat the Bucks. Now they're going to win the championship. I don't know, but I definitely got the Celtics winning the East this year. But without further ado, that'll conclude this episode. This is episode 5. If you ain't done it already, I need you to go ahead and like the video. I'm gonna need you to comment, chop it up with me. I'm gonna need y'all to go share this video. Please go tell a friend and go tell a friend. Tell a friend and tell a friend to tell a friend and tell a friend. This is another episode. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We'll be back every Friday. Every Friday morning we drop in 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's your boy Dyon, and I appreciate y'all coming, checking in, chilling with me at the Charged Up Pod Sports Edition. Let's get it.